Welcome, UNL fans, to the May Cycle Review. I am your commissioner, Scott Anderson. Joining me tonight is Tom. How you doing tonight, Tom?
Doing all right, Scott. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good. Pretty excited to have you on.
I'm excited to be here. This is my once every 6 months I show up for one of these things, so I'm good for the rest of the year, I think.
I think you're pretty well covered. I mean, you might be strong-armed into appearing towards the end of the year, though. I don't know.
Not until at least Thanksgiving.
Sounds good. Sounds good, sir. We'll have you on for the Christmas special.
All right. Sounds good.
Awesome. So, for those who may not know, who do you manage in the UNL?
Yeah, I run Fortune 500 Aaron McFleece, who, again, is a character I'm not very creative, so I run him in pretty much every league I play, so I don't have to think that hard. And I also run Tenbatsu, his Japanese counterpart. So
nice. Awesome. I would argue, though, to play devil's advocate, that Aaron McFleece is a great character and slightly different in every league that he has been in.
Yeah, it's very much, I treat it like a comic multiverse. They sort of start the same, but they go off. So he's a face in some leagues, and he's a heel in others, and I don't really let the history of one influence the other. So, common base, but very, very different stories with each one.
I like it. Infinite possibilities stretching out from a common beginning.
Yeah, plus you have to keep track. Last second, just be like, yeah, that didn't happen. So
it didn't happen to him. That was the other Aaron McFleece.
It was the other Aaron McFleece. That guy's not even the same guy.
So, would you like to run down our May 2018 Cycle 15 champions?
I will give it a shot. At League Champion, we have the Canadian Crippler, Antoine Martin. TV Champion, again, is Ann Spivey. Our Brazil Champion, coming out of the Battle Royal, was Hot Stuff Adam Cash. Vexing Vladimir Verklempt comes in as our China Champion. Great Britain Champion is the Strongman Tobin Wells. The India Champion is the Hawaiian Delight Joe Kona, which is probably one of my new favorite names in the UNL. Iran Champion is Valen Arya. Japan Champion is Flying Dragon Philippe Rousseau. Our Mexico Champion is Tenbatsu, again coming out of the Battle Royal. Nigeria Champion is Nahul. The Russia Champion is Akbar. Our U.S. champion is Ann's bodyguard, Zhang Fi. We need to get a clear definition on how to pronounce that name. I think everybody that hosts the show does it a little differently, so we need like one of those phonetic guides for this thing. Our tag team champions are the Quebec Hitman, MRP, and the Russian Reaper. Our TV tag champions are Texas Hick, Rick Rancher, and Vexing Vladimir Verklempt. Our six-man champions are the Quebec Hitman, MRP, and the Russian Reaper again, and they're teaming with Nahul. And our TV six-man champions are Valen Arya and Blood Money, Hot Stuff Adam Cash, and Fatty the Butcher.
All right. So, a couple quick notes. Congratulations to Antoine Martin for winning the Asianic Championship. Awesome. Way to represent. Good to see him back and doing what he does very well. Also, quick shout out to the tag team champions, Quebec Hitman, MRP, and the Russian Reaper. They had a 5-16. Apparently was not perfect point flow, but it was enough to get them mentioned in the report. So well done on that, gentlemen. They did beat Naul and Valen Arya, so that was kind of a stinker, but that's okay. Speaking of Valen Arya, it's important to note that Blood Money teamed up with him, and he did not team up with Blood Money. Valen Arya only wants to team up with Noble House. He does not want to upset Mac Trilla and the main animal. He wants in Noble House.
Now, has he checked with Noble House? Are there rules? Could he be like jumped in, or is there an initiation process? Is there something he can do to get into Noble House? Because I personally want to see that happen.
I definitely want to see Valen Arya get in Noble House, and I will say, I will go on record as saying that Valen Arya will do whatever it takes to get into Noble House. He will beat up an old man with a cane if that's what it takes to get into Noble House. He'll beat up an old man with his own cane if it gets him into Noble House.
I hereby demand you create a scrub wrestler called Old Man with a Cane, and let's just kick the shit out of him and trash talk. Like, let's do that.
That's what Noble House wants. That's what will happen. Oh, you had already mentioned, I think the Hawaiian Delight might be my favorite new nickname. So congratulations to Joe Kona, or Kona? Is that how you... Okay. We're going with Joe Kona for his first regional title.
Coming in strong, and it also would make a great name for a cup of coffee, right? Like, that sounds like, that would be delightful.
I would agree. I mean, it's in the name. And also, well done by Zhang Fei, last cycle's league champion, managed to stay on the title page via the Battle Royal. So don't underestimate entering that Battle Royal.
Yeah, we had 3 champions coming out of the Battle Royal, so, spend that dollar.
Never hurts. So what's going down in the UNL? We did have our second opportunity to get a bonus 20 scrub matches, bumped up our cards to 47 this past cycle. So hopefully everybody who was able to take advantage of that got those bonus matches. I would advise you to just double check every time that happens. I don't think we had any trouble this time, but the first go around in cycle 12, 2 managers, myself and another manager, did not get our bonus scrub matches ran, so we had to go back and get that. So we did have this was our second opportunity to get 20 free bonus scrub matches in addition to the regular 20 scrub matches, bumped up our cards to 47. So hopefully everybody who was able to take advantage of that got those extra matches. I didn't hear that anybody didn't receive them, but I would advise everybody just every 3 cycles, if you take advantage of that deal, obviously first make sure that you mention it to the IWA because they're not going to give it to you unless you do. And then second, just double check that they do run them because the IWA is great, but they're not perfect, so it could happen where they don't run those bonus.
Yeah, and it's to all of our benefit to remember to take those. We were 47s, real close to that 50 card limit where we get, additional tag team credit. So, definitely do that.
For sure. I mean, if we get 51 cards, the tag team champions get $17 in IWA credit, which is certainly nothing to sneeze at. So, that 50 card benchmark would be a huge boost to our tag team division for sure. So, what's going on in the UNL? I guess, first of all, what do you think of this cycle's cover?
I loved it. It is probably the most 80s thing I've seen in the 2000s.
I have to agree. You may notice that I often do a fairly plain background. I like to accentuate the text, accentuate the avatars, and so I generally have a fairly plain background. And I was like, what do I put in the background for these guys? And it just, the only way to go is bright pink. That's just the only thing I could do. I hope it worked.
It does. It's fitting for these two because the UNL, because of the structure, where we had to have, a North American wrestler and an international wrestler, it kind of led itself to everybody playing an odd couple initially. These are the only ones that have lasted, I think, and they're kind of my favorite. So I find them highly entertaining, and this cover is just, it's so magnificently retro.
Yeah, for sure. I would have to agree that of the plentiful amount of odd couples that started in the UNL, they have definitely been, over the 15 cycles, the most successful. As a team and as in character building, they are definitely top-notch. Akbar and CC, I love what they do.
And 2 things that really work is, first of all, who the hell uses CC DeVille from Poison as a wrestler avatar?
Right.
That's
probably the same person who uses General Akbar.
And then, I love the way they write their promos. It sounds like an old 80s promo on, NWA TV. It's like, well, tell him now, Akbar, or,
Yeah.
So it works for me.
It is. It's good stuff. I love how glammed up CC DeVille was and is in the UNL in 2018.
This picture, I can't get over the chandeliers that are just hanging off the side of his head for earrings. That's amazing. So
he is a party animal. What can you say? Oh, man. I dig it. All right, so what's going on? Okay, so flipping through, we have our champions. As reported on the UNL board, if you're not a member, you're welcome to request to join. Make sure you answer the questions. If I don't know who you are, chances are I might not approve you. So just answer those questions. They're not too hard. Please. Thank you. But we welcome, obviously it'd be great to have some more fresh blood, more managers. But if you just want to join the board, check it out. Just let me know who you are, get you on there. But as reported, on the UNL board. Bando Naidu managed to get past Rick Rancher in their 3-match series, so he retained the United Nations Championship. His next title defense will be against Vladimir Verklempt. So a 3-match series will start in cycle 16 and run to 18.
Now, is that a title versus title situation? Because Vladimir is our television champion too as well, right?
So to answer your first question, Vladimir Verklempt is still the television champion, but it is not a title for title situation. So you can think of the television title as sort of separate from the other 3 in a way. Television title is the only one that's defended every cycle in a single match, whereas the other 3 are all defended in a 3-match series. It has not yet occurred, and so I haven't yet had to decide if a person could hold both the Can-Am or International as well as the United Nations. My thought at this time is that if the Can-Am or International champion won the United Nations title, that they would have to relinquish the Can-Am and International, Can-Am or International title, a la Ultimate Warrior after WrestleMania 6.
I think that works.
But the television championship can be thought of as sort of separate from that. So you could hold the television championship with one of those other 3 singles titles. Hopefully that answers that question. Excellent question. So Vladimir Verklempt also retained the television title. He defeated Zhang Fei this cycle. Will defend. Let's double check who won the Battle Royal. I believe it was Adam Cash.
It was.
Adam Cash gets another opportunity at the television championship, won another Battle Royal. So good luck to those 2 competitors competing for the television championship next cycle. We had a lot of retentions. The international champion, Jacob Vandenberg, managed to defeat Jasper Obanku in their 3-match series, and he will next defend against Tenbatsu.
Okay. I thought that was TXVXB was defending against Tenbatsu.
Well, TXVXB is the Can-Am champion, and he will defend against CC DeVille. He managed to retain his title as well.
There's too many former Vandenbergs here. I just get them all confused.
Well, don't say Vandenberg around TVB.
I'm just going to call him Tixvix, like someone did in the Trash Talk this cycle. So.
Yeah. I think who was that? Was that Blazer Corp?
I believe it was.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff from Blazer Corp, as always. To finish up there, TVB managed to get past Aaron McLeese, and once again, he will defend against the Cycle 15 cover child of CC DeVille. Good luck to both of those gentlemen. Our rankings, to no one's surprise, number 1 is still Rick Rancher, pretty much all across the board. So hopefully somebody knocks that gentleman off his perch at some point.
It's not going to happen.
Seems like it's a runaway. But Cromwell's Corner, what's your take on Cromwell's Corner, sir?
Yeah, I like it. It's good to read every cycle. I take it as cliff notes. Like for someone like me that sort of skims things and misses a lot of details, it's my catch up. So I enjoy it. Plus, Oliver Humperdinck. So,
I mean, come on, exactly. I dig it. Good stuff. Good stuff as always. So moving forward, our global champion, or global tournament winner, I should say. The global tournament winner for number 10, CC DeVille. Good cycle for him to be on the cover. Managed to defeat Rick Rancher. I think that's the first big loss Rick Rancher has suffered since he lost to Ann Spivey at the Rumble, or at World Warfare. I always mix them up. Why am I doing that? Long story short, CC DeVille defeats Rick Rancher to win global tournament number 10 and secure his place in that tournament that will happen in the fall. Let's double check who will be the finalist for global tournament number 11. That is Akbar and the Quebec Hitman MRP. So good luck to both of those gentlemen, competing both for 5 free matches and the chance to enter that Global's greatest tournament in the fall.
Yeah, that'll be an exciting match. Akbar and CC coming in strong, and Quebec Hitman. It's nice to see him and Antoine Martin back after a few cycles off and coming back strong as well. So that should be a great final.
To that, I believe it's the first time the Quebec Hitman has been in a final. So good luck to him for sure. Akbar has actually won 2, I believe, global tournaments. So if he can win a third, he will be neck and neck with Rick Rancher as the only winners we get, apparently.
I think that's the rules, right? Like they have to win.
Sorry, MRP, but the rules are the rules. Akbar's
I'm coming to the realization that Rick Rancher is basically the New England Patriots. It's not that you hate Rick Rancher, it's just you want somebody else to win, so you hate Rick Rancher.
Yeah, just anybody except Rick.
Anybody else?
Please. Speaking of anybody except Rick, our World Tag Team Title Tournament is coming to an exciting end. This cycle, if the Quebec Hitman and Naul won, they became the champions. If Rick Rancher and his partner Tobin Wells won, then they would have to have one more match, right? Both teams double elimination. Rick Rancher and Tobin Wells, by 1 point, managed to defeat the Hitman and Naul. By 1 point, they will have another match next cycle to officially crown the champions. Please don't let it be a draw.
Well, I mean, this tournament's already gone on forever, so what's one more cycle?
What's one more cycle? There is a contingency, though, if there's a draw. Let's see if it's listed here. Yep. If a match ends in a draw, the team with the higher single strategy total will advance. So hopefully we can decide the tournament one way or another. If it comes to a draw, hopefully we can break that tie. I got to put my hope and money on MRP and Naul. Fingers crossed.
I'm going to go the other way. I think Rick Rancher, he just got robbed out of one of the tournaments, so he's due. So I'm going with Rancher and Tobin Wells to pull this one off.
Who invited you on this show anyway?
Don't worry, I won't be back.
Until Christmas.
If you're lucky.
I'm gonna strong arm you as best I can. Tuesday night's main event coming up already. Next cycle going down. Tuesday night's main event.
I'm excited for this one. I've been waiting to ask this. Is I have to know what the hell a pink drink dunk tank match is.
Well, asking Jake might be the best option.
He's not here, so I'm going to need you to wing it.
Okay, I'll wing it, but I would like at this point to include a Jake laugh montage.
We're not perfect. Let's get away with some shit.
There it is. Thank you. Always good. So the pink drink dunk tank match was the brainchild of our good friend, the Ladies' Choice Jake Joyce. And I think what has to happen is that there is a huge pool, like you think of those dunk tanks, right?
Yeah.
So I think there needs to be a huge pool of that size of pink drink, and the winner is the person who throws his opponent into the pink drink dunk tank. I think that's the only way to win the match. You got to throw your opponent into the pink drink dunk tank to win the match.
I don't know how anyone would recover from that kind of embarrassment.
I'm telling you, if Naul loses that match, he's done. He's finished. He's never coming back.
Now, is this like a Kool-Aid situation? Are we dealing with some Crystal Light? Is this straight pink lemonade? Like, what are we dealing with? What's the pink drink?
I think I kept calling it pink lemonade on the last Tubecast, and I apologize for that. It clearly is going to be pink wine coolers. It's going to be a huge tub of pink wine coolers.
That could be the case. Yeah, that would work.
Right? It's got to be. It's got to be.
Can we get the match sponsored by Bartles and James?
I think that's the only way to go. I think the whole event should be sponsored.
Do they still make Bartles and James? Because I eat myself.
Okay, so yes, in addition to the amazing pink drink dunk tank match, what else is going down at Tuesday night's main event?
Well, the big return match between our piece of Texas Hick Rick Rancher and Ann Spivey. That's a big match. Those are probably two of the most consistent wrestlers in the UNL. So
For sure. If Ann Spivey manages to defeat Rick Rancher again, I'm telling you right now, I don't think Rick Rancher's psyche can handle it. He seems like a man on a mission, and if he comes up short against Ann Spivey again, I honestly don't think he will be able to handle it.
that'll be interesting to watch. But I think that's the next big match.
For sure. I'm also looking forward to the grudge match between TVB and Vladimir Verklempt. That's another one that has been brewing for quite some time, really before even the Rumble. So that match has been coming together for a while. So excited to see that one. But I know there is the Cycle 16 Battle Royal will be featured on the show. But I got to say, for my money, the main event has to be, catch that pun, for my money?
I did, but it's literally for my money. So
for your money, Hot Stuff Adam Cash versus Fortune 500 Aaron McFleece. Give us the lowdown on this match, Mr. Tom.
Yeah, so this has been brewing for 6 cycles or so now, 6 or 7 cycles. Blood Money came in on fire and made some overtures to potentially befriend Aaron McFleece. Turned out to be a ruse. There was a beatdown at the Oscars that Aaron McFleece and Tenbatsu kind of returned the favor against Blood Money, and just a lot of bad blood. So this match has to happen, and I think this will probably be the end of the line for this feud. I think they'll, with names like Hot Stuff Adam Cash and Fortune 500 Aaron McFleece, a money on the line match is probably the only way to settle this.
I would have to agree. I think this is a one huge match and done situation. It's built up for a long time, and this is a pretty big stipulation. Can you tell anybody who may not be aware what exactly it means, the money on the line match?
It's very simple. All of the IWA winnings of Hot Stuff Adam Cash and Fortune 500 Aaron McFleece are in the pot, and it's winner take all. So one of these two will be broke at the end of this match.
Ouch. That would be difficult. Seems like we're saying this a lot, but I think all the losers, all the people who come up short at Tuesday night's main event, they're going to have a hard time coming back from these losses. These are going to be tough losses because each of these matches are very personal.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think I would rather be broke than lose a pink drink dunk tank match. I think I'm willing to take that chance.
You know what? You're probably right. You are probably right. It would be a hard way to go to win back credibility after losing a pink drink dunk tank match. I just like saying pink drink dunk
money,
tank.
but you will have always got dunked in pink.
There's a lot of money in the world, but there's only one tape of someone getting dunked in a pink drink dunk tank. Next up, right after, one cycle after our Tuesday night's main event, will be the heavily and longly promoted crossover collision event. I first want to say, I don't often beg, and I'm not begging, but as close to begging without begging, we need some more entries, folks. Like, the entries are pretty light for this main event. If you don't want to do $1, that's fine. But if you're interested in doing $1, the deadline is this cycle. All the winnings go back to the top 3 finishers. Will get all of that money that is collected for that. So we definitely need some more UNL representation in this event. So entries are officially due June 19th. In addition to the main event, we have 6 matches that will all take place between the UNL and the LNL, the Living Nightmare League, for some league pride. We know now that it will be Bando Naidu facing off against the LNL Underworld champion, Patient X. We will not know the Continental and Colossal champions until the cycle before. Both of those titles are defended every cycle. We know now that it will be the Can-Am champion TVB, the international champion Jacob Vandenberg, in that fatal four-way against LNL Anarchy champion Voodoo Dolly and LNL Monsters Ball winner Bosco the Clown. The UNL World Tag Team Champions will be decided this cycle, and they will take on the LNL Terror Tag Team Champions of Jason Voorhees 13 and Michael Myers. The top-ranked UNL Tag Team will face the LNL Tag Team, top-ranked LNL Tag Team. And in addition, the UNL singles points leader will face off against the LNL singles points leader. The only caveat with that match is that they cannot be in another singles match already. So we're going to spread the love around. Each of those contests will award 5 free matches, except the UN champion versus the Underworld champion, which will get 10 free matches for that winner.
Now, I find it very convenient that it seems like the structure of these two leagues is very similar, and it lines up very symmetrically. Why would that be, Scott Anderson?
It's interesting that you would say that. I just happen to be, despite this pay-per-view and despite the current animosity between the United Nations League and the Living Nightmare League, it may come as a surprise to know that Spike Pratt and I tend to
share an agent. You guys share an agent?
Yes, in that regard, because we happen to be the same person. So, so in that regard, there are some similarities. You'll notice, lots of things.
Now, explain to me how this works, because I'm a little bit familiar with the LNL. This is not the LNL Tubecast, but catch me up here, because let's assume that our champion here is Tobin Wells and Rick Rancher, both tough men. But how in the blue hell are they supposed to defeat Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers?
I don't have an answer for that. I think maybe they just forfeit the match and let Jason and Michael take those 5 free matches.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's the only way I can see it working, because, Rick Rancher, he's a tough dude, but, Michael Myers, that dude can't be killed. Like, he just keeps coming back, so.
This is true. I mean, and I have it on good account that both Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers have been on quite a tear over in the LNL. So, yeah, I would prefer not to have to face them if I had the choice. I think one of my favorite trash talk moments in the past year included Michael Myers, who was feuding with Bosco the Clown, and in the trash talk, he picks up Bosco the Clown, and, and the TT says, and Bosco's big clown feet were flailing back and forth. Still 6 cycles later, I'm still laughing about it. I just imagine these huge clown feet flailing in the air. Oh, good stuff. So, yeah, if Rancher and Wells or Hitman and Naul have to go up against Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers, it will be quite a challenge for sure.
And let's not discount the NWL here. If one of their members can come in and win that main event, that'd be a big push for a rookie coming out of the NWL.
It certainly would. And I have to say, there are a number of NWL stars who are entering this matchup. So they're going to have a good amount of representation. So hopefully, obviously Scott Anderson is pulling for a UNL star, but it would be nice to see a New Wave League rookie do very well, finishing that top 3. That'd be awesome. So good luck to those guys. Really am happy that they could be involved in that main event. So
I can't shake the image of all the NWL wrestlers being teenage campers at Camp Crystal Lake trying to throw Jason Voorhees over the top rope. It's just not going to end well. For sure. And the L&L is a wild place to be, let me tell you. So good luck to everybody. If you're interested in getting involved, the deadline is this cycle. As I mentioned on our last Tubecast, please don't email me on the 20th or the 21st and say, oh, I forgot. Can I please enter now? Because I got nothing but love for all the UNL managers, but this has been promoted for 7 cycles. So please just make sure you enter if you're interested by this cycle. I'm calling it right here on the Tubecast exclusive. Fortune 500 and Tenbatsu will join the action.
Yes! Awesome. I dig it. As briefly mentioned earlier when we were talking about our global tournament, the report ends with a little information at the bottom, but at the top, the official announcement for our autumn pay-per-view It will be the Global's greatest. And what that will be is I have decided to include all the tournament winners from the UNL's first year in a one-night event to crown the Global's greatest wrestler. And the winner of that tournament, that one-night event, will win $13 in UNL credit, paid for by yours truly. So good luck to everybody involved in that. I believe at this point it's just Rick Rancher and Akbar, but hopefully we'll get a few more managers into that global tournament for that Global's greatest.
So will there be things to do for, people like myself who have not managed to maybe win a match in one of these tournaments?
And for myself, I haven't won a single global tournament either. So yeah, this will definitely feature the one-night tournament, but certainly there will be other non-tournament matches at this event. Good question. Yes, for sure. People like Naul and Valinaria will probably be in singles matches with some kind of personal rivalry.
Now, when you envisioned this match many, many moons ago, it's surprising that we're coming up on a year. We're, 2 cycles out from a year at this point?
Yeah, isn't that wild?
That's crazy. Did you envision this being a singles match? Because this feels like it's going to be a singles match.
You mean the tournament?
Yes.
No. I was hoping to have, a good number of winners, but the number of winners it is the number of winners it is. So I do think, though, that I am going to consider having some kind of handicap, like a positive handicap, for the people who have won more than one tournament. I'm just spitballing here, and I'll have to think about it, so nothing official yet. But maybe like if you've won a second global tournament, you get 1 point added to your total. So like your 495 becomes a 496.
That's a good point, because I was just thinking to myself, you know what Rick Rancher needs? Another advantage.
That poor guy's had it so hard.
That's so rough. I mean, Jake just comes on here and talks shit about him, and let's be fair to Rancher.
We need that as a sign, right? Like, be fair to Rancher. So, links there at the bottom, but if you're listening to this Tunecast, you are probably already privy to those links. I definitely encourage you to look at the UNL board if you're not a member, and obviously you're checking out the Tunecast, so thank you for listening. Those links are on there as well. I believe we are into our trash talk now, sir.
We are. It was a good cycle for trash talk. A lot of some faces we haven't seen before. A lot of good stuff from the familiar faces. It was a good cycle for UNL trash talk, I thought.
I would have to agree. I think the UNL does trash talk very, very well. If you asked me what I thought the UNL's best attribute was, I would say the trash talk from its plentiful manager. It's plentiful trash talk from its excellent managers. Trash talk is always a good read for me for the UNL. So thank you to everybody who does that. To get us started, as mentioned earlier, Akbar and CC DeVille, they are calling out Rick Rancher here. So they are going straight to the top.
They are. They're, looking to have nothing but a good time, as CC would say, going after our good friend Rick Rancher. Again, everyone hates that guy, so let's give him more advantages. Actually, this whole page, like if you go down through it, we've got Ann Spivey dealing with Rick Rancher. We've got Strongman Tobin Wells and Vladimir Verklempt talking about Rick Rancher. This is the Rick Rancher page. This is the Let's Hate Rick Rancher page. So
I would have to agree. The next trash talk is Rick Rancher not coming to the ring for his interview and apparently laying out Ann Spivey. And then poor Vladimir has a bird's eye view of the action and nobody comes and talks to him about it. So he sounds like at the end here, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like he crushes Naul with the pink champagne bottle. How does. You read that as well?
I do, and I'm wondering if he has to pay copyrights to Valinaria and Vandenberg there for their pink drink match.
Thankfully, he will have his hands full at the Tuesday night's main event with TXVXB because Vladimir Verklempt is not a guy to mess with. So always fun to read that. On the next page, I have to ask you first.
Yes.
It seems like your trash talk starts with Aaron McFleece and Tenbatsu, And then we have
Yes.
this trash talk with the masked men, and then your trash talk continues. Part of
Okay.
your trash talk cut out, or did they just make a mistake and cut it in the middle of yours?
Yeah, so I'm going to play this both sides of the fence. You could argue that the way this is printed, I might be the masked man.
I wasn't going to say that, but now you have accused yourself, sir. Is it you?
It is not.
Are you the masked man?
It is not. This is a printing error on the IWA's part.
Confess up now.
My trash talk is largely complete here, but I think we are missing a part of a paragraph. I don't know why, but the masked man attack got interjected into the middle of my TT. So I think we still keep the thread of my TT, but it is not complete.
Fair enough. So you are officially denying that you are the masked man.
I am denying and not denying.
So
I am not
it's
the masked man.
possible.
It is possible, but I am not the masked man.
I don't know if I believe you, sir.
Which
So-
is exactly what I would say if I were the masked man.
Which is why you can no longer be trusted. Masked men attack the Hawaiian Delight here, which may raise the ire of several managers, because with a young, bright upstart like the Hawaiian Delight, not cool. So the masked men attack Joe Kona, lay him out, and we don't get any additional information here or hints as to who they might be. But I think if we went back and we added up all the people who have been attacked, we have to be getting close to everyone.
Well, I mean, I feel like the commissioner should do something here. This is lawlessness. Like, these masked men are just kicking the shit out of everybody. Like,
Scott Anderson can't be everywhere.
I mean, my theory is that the commissioner might be behind this.
Oh, are you accusing me?
I'm not accusing you, but I'm not accusing you.
Well, I am officially denying that I am the masked men, or that I am coercing masked men.
We'll see. We'll see
Scott
where this
Anderson
goes.
likes to be a hands-off commissioner.
Well, apparently, because he's doing nothing about the
Because I'm
lawless
not doing
situation
anything
running wild in this league.
I mean, live and let live, right? Take care of your own business. So if we want to know who these masked men are, stop letting them beat you up.
We will see. We'll see if Joe Kona has any response.
For sure. He has his own troubles later on. We'll read about that momentarily.
Absolutely.
I do have to say, and it's interesting that you would be on this time, because it feels like I might be placating a bit. But I have to admit, my favorite trash talk this cycle was probably the interaction, and specifically Tenbatsu. And when he says, "My English better than your Japanese," I laughed. And then when Aaron McFleece mentions the length of Adam Cash's promos, I laughed again. So good stuff from Aaron McFleece and Tenbatsu this cycle.
Thank you. I enjoyed writing it. I thought it came out well. So thank you.
Good stuff as always. So poor Joe Kona here tries to come out and rile up the crowd, right? Seems like they enjoy what he's got to say. When out of nowhere, the Samoan bulldozer, Tonga Ming, comes out and lays him out, and then gives him a bit of a hard time about their kind of like shared island heritage. So looks like Tonga Ming is not particularly thrilled that Joe Kona debuted the same time he did.
This is going to be an interesting feud. I want to see how they play this. It's, you know, the UNL with its structure, with its bevy of international wrestlers. This is maybe the first time that the heritage of these wrestlers has actually really been an issue in any storyline. So it'll be interesting to see how they play this and how they work it. And I'm interested to see who wins this.
Definitely. I am excited to see where it goes next, for sure. On our next page, got this really cool font. I feel a bit like I'm Brick on the middle right now. This font is really cool, but the font is really cool for Strongman Tobin Wells. What's he got to say this cycle?
He's talking, first of all, about our good friend Rick Rancher and working their way through the tag tournament. And then my personal favorite thing is when he calls our good friend TVB Tixvix, which was my personal favorite moment of all the trash talk this cycle. So
good stuff for sure. Good stuff. Always good stuff. So on the next page, we have TVB sitting in his typical bar. Seems like it's more populated now. But he is preparing to face Vladimir at their Tuesday night's main event. So it looks like he's ready to take care of that feud. Underneath that, we have Jacob Vandenberg, who doesn't seem to understand what Naul is so upset about. But he's laying in a hospital bed. He seems to think that he was trying to befriend Naul, which has to be disingenuous. But then he says, "I will just beat your back burner at main event then." And I honestly, I didn't know what that meant. I think I know what it means, but his back burner.
I still don't know what it means, so I would love to hear your interpretation.
I think, I think he means that he's going to beat his behind, but he says back burner.
I've never heard that phrase. I think we're going to make that the new thing. Like, that has to be a new UNL rule that back burner is our euphemism for ass.
Yes.
Like,
don't say butter ass, you say back burner.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat your back burner.
I want that on a t-shirt now.
We do have a really cool Jake Joyce t-shirt that should be for sale but isn't, and I should send it to the man behind the curtain if he needs another copy of that. I think we should put that on every Tunecast. The Jake Joyce Rick Rancher shirt. Jake Joyce, we do miss Jake Joyce in the show, although I got to be honest, I'm pretty excited to have Tom on this cycle. So, finishing up, we have definitely not the best for last, Valinaria and Naul. So, Valinaria, I think my favorite part of my TT for Valinaria this cycle is that he demands that Matt Peters call him Mr. Arya, but then he refers to Matt Peters as Matthew, and he refers to Jasper Abanku as Jasper. So he absolutely refuses to use Mr. for anyone else, and yet right off the top, he demands that he be called Mr. Arya.
I did notice that. Now, will Mr. Arya be crossing any of these titles off of his list? I know he was a champion this cycle. Will he be? Was he Brazil, China, Mexico, or Iran? He
was. He finally crossed off another one. I have made the claim that until I finish this world tour, which got off to such a good start and has so stalled out, I am only going to be challenging for those titles. I didn't challenge for any title other than those four, although I do think I challenged for the United States just because that's the lowest of the regional titles, and I'm like, well, I don't want to not be on the title page. So
right.
I did challenge for the United States title in addition to that. So Valinaria will only be challenging primarily for these titles until he finishes this world tour.
So you say he'll only challenge primarily for these titles, which means he'll just challenge for whatever?
No, I am only challenging for these titles.
Okay. All right. Now, is there a time limit on this challenge?
Like when he can complete the world tour?
Yeah, or is it just till we're done?
My goal was to finish every title in the first year.
Yeah, you're not going to make that.
I am not going to make that. So that's a little sad. So I guess it's not sad, because it's a huge accomplishment, but it's a little sad that I'm not going to do it. So just basically as quickly as possible. Now,
still you got
Brazil and China are way at the top. So really, I could challenge for Brazil and China, and then not anything until Mexico, and then I could challenge for everything under Mexico as well. Right? Because if I could win Mexico, I would win Mexico, but if not, at least I'd be on the title page.
Right. Yeah, you don't want those ones in the middle. So.
Right. I don't want. I mean, obviously, I take it, but so Great Britain, India, and Iran and Japan are now safe from Valinaria. You will not be challenging for those titles.
Okay. Excellent.
So Naul, I think this is my favorite trash talk that I've written for Naul in about 4 cycles. He's in a liquor store, and he he throws down a bottle of champagne, and then he punches a bunch of bottles in champagne, and then the clerk
I love the clerk. Sir, please don't punch the bottles.
Yeah, I did self laugh at my own trash talk at the "Sir, please don't punch the bottles." But then he is a bit of a gentleman at the end. I mean, gentleman might be a strong word, but he does reach in to his pocket and put a handful of money on the counter to pay for all that broken champagne. So,
I still think my other favorite line of this is "I'm saving my hurt."
Yes.
So that's going to be a great match between the pink drink dunk tank match. I can't wait for that. That might be my new favorite match in the history of the IWA.
Well, I'm glad that you are excited. Pink drink dunk tank. That wraps up our trash talk for this cycle. I think we've covered pretty much everything. Is there anything that we haven't talked about yet, UNL related, that you would like to mention?
I think we've covered most of the bases. I just want to say that I think the UNL has come a long way. When you start a new league, everybody's kind of feeling out their characters for a few cycles and doing different things. Like, it feels like the league is really hitting its stride, and it's a real fun place to play right now.
Well, thank you. I would have to agree. I definitely think in the last, maybe since the Rumble on, things have really started to piece together. And I think, to your point, people are getting more and more comfortable with who their characters are and where they would like to see those characters go. So I think it's a fun place to be. I certainly enjoyed doing the commissioner work for it. So, yeah, if you enjoy it and you know someone you think might enjoy it, one of our prizes is 5 free matches. If you refer somebody, 5 free matches for you, 5 free matches for them. So if you get somebody to join, a couple free matches never hurts. I will say, I had mentioned earlier, I think, one of the UNL's best qualities is definitely the awesome trash talk sent in by its managers. But if I were to toot my own horn just a little, I think that our prizes match up pretty well just about anywhere. I think, the bonus scrub matches, the tag team championship credit, the free matches for league champion, free matches for tournament winners, free matches if you refer somebody, free matches for the TV 6-man champions, 2 for $1 battle royal if you do the $12 match deal. Not bad in regard to prizes.
You sound like a infomercial right now, but wait, there's more.
That's not all. If you order now, we will double your order for free. So, okay. Thank you, Tom, for being on tonight. Really appreciate it. Always happy to have you on whenever you would like to be on. Even if it means we would have a 3-man team, which I'm not really, I don't know. Me, you, and Jake. Me, you, and Brad. I don't know. Maybe sometime.
We'll see. Maybe for Christmas.
That would be the best gift. So, anything else before I send us away to Tropical New Year?
No, let's hit that Tropical New Year.
Time to hit Tropical New Year.
That's it. I'm not coming back until Tropical New Year.
Okay.
It's been decided now.
I dig it. I'm on board. All right. For Tom, I am your commissioner.
Tropical New Year, where's the snow? Tropical New Year, where the palm trees grow. Tropical New Year, cocktails and treats. Tropical Tropical